Hello everyone, time for another update. I haven't really got that much painted, but I've made a lot of purchases, so there is a lot to show you. And on the painting side, I'm cracking on with my Afrika Korps 15mm Battlefront figures, Panzer Grenadier Company, and just sort of finishing off bits and bobs. Front of you at the moment are a pair of tank hunters, which I was quite pleased with. Only thing, my modelling skills aren't really up to the task, and you'll notice that the wheels at the front are sort of raised off the ground. I'm not sure if there's any way around that really. They glue on with lugs into sort of sockets, and I put them all the way up as high as they would go. But maybe you're supposed to glue them a little bit lower down. I don't know. That probably wouldn't look right in terms of the wheel fitting into the wheel arch. But anyway, you don't really notice it that much, and I think they're quite nice little models. Unusual, sort of design of an anti-tank gun that's been mounted on the back of a half track, and then the sides of the half track raised up with sort of armour. So I was quite pleased to get those. And then more prosaically, there's a couple of 3-ton trucks. Pretty ordinary, but all part of the box, so got to be completed. And finally, for the Afrika Korps, at least in this video, a couple of Pak 38 anti-tank guns with crew. Slowly, getting there with the Afrika Korps project. I've got probably two more groups to do. Quite a lot of vehicles and a lot of ordinary infantry, and then I'll finish the whole box. And I've allowed myself to be distracted, having discovered, thanks to Shauno at Shauno's World of Chaos, that Butler's printed models did 1/300th scale decals. I bought a load of those and got on with painting up some of the aircraft from the value bag from the Plastic Soldier Company. So painted up so far 6 Spitfires, which you see before you here, and the flying stands I got from Tabletop Scenics. Purchased them a long time ago, but the painting of these models was stalled by the lack of availability of any suitable decals. Didn't go as far as painting recognition numbers and so on the identity on the side of the aircraft. It's sort of beyond my capabilities, but the decals themselves make the models stand out, I think. So I was quite pleased with those. I've also painted up some Stukas from the same bag, the value bag. There's so many. I bought 2 bags as well because there weren't any ME-109s in the first bag, and I thought it was a sort of random accident, so I bought a second bag, and there's about 100 planes in each bag, and it turned out that they had changed the constituents of the bag, and ME-109s were no longer available. So I actually ended up buying some models from Butler's Printed Models, the same company who do the decals, and I'll show you the result now. And here are the ME109. So these are resin models from Butler's Printed Models. As I say, you don't get ME109s in that excellent value bag from the Plastic Soldier company. But these were really nice models, a lot of detail on them, and as I said in a previous video, there is a sort of rippling kind of appearance because of the 3D printing on the wings in particular, but once you got the paint on them, you hardly notice that at all. So you know, a couple of coats of paint and they're that low relief that they disappear. Right, so that's all the painting that I've got done recently, so now I'm going to go on to show you some of the purchases I've made. Right then, so these I pre-ordered back in January, expecting them to be out at the end of February, released at the end of February, and took a little bit longer than that, and I'd held off. They'd been available for pre-order last year, and I held off thinking there's no point in paying for them that early. And at the time I bought them, I was really, you know, enthused by the idea of painting up some Aztecs and matching Conquistador, and of course you know, I was all ready to go with them, and then it got delayed, and I've now been diverted by other things, as we always happens. So I have to be honest, I haven't even got these out of the box to have a look at them yet. I'm not going to do an unboxing because I'm sure there's a lot of people on YouTube who've already glued them together, painted them up, and playing them in their battles already. So I'm well behind the curve on that, but I've got them ready to go. Probably sometime this year I will be painting them up. Okay, now I've made a few purchases from companies that I hadn't heard of before, just to check their products out, and I'm really pleased with all of them, I have to say. These are some models from Iron Gate. What are they called? Iron Gate Scenery, and I was watching one of Martin at Seventh Son's videos where he showed some models he'd purchased from them, and thought I'd look at their site, and discovered that they do some Aztec scenery. So I purchased a plinth and a bit of hair stuck on that one. Let's get rid of that before I paint it. A couple of Aztec columns, and a pair of braziers. They're going to be a little bit of a challenge to paint because I'm not very good at painting flame effects, but I'll give it a go. And the thing I liked about these in particular was, I mean, obviously they're going to be for the to go with the Wargames Atlantic figures that I've just shown you, but the thing I liked about these is that you don't see many Aztec buildings that are kind of pristine. They're usually modelled as ruins, so meant to be kind of overgrown by vegetation and that kind of thing. So they're more suitable for sort of pulp fiction type games. Obviously, you know, at the time of the Spanish conquest of Mexico, the buildings wouldn't have been dilapidated. They would have been, you know, fresh and new. So that's what I liked about those. Anyway, on to the next thing. And another discovery I've made thanks to watching a channel called The Great Mim, which is worth subscribing to if you're not familiar with him. He does mainly, I think he does solely, as far as I can see, bolt action 28mm, but he's a fantastic modeller. He really goes to a lot of effort with his terrain and so on, and does lots of conversions and so on. But he was showing some purchases that he'd made from this company called Any-Scale Models, and again I thought I would give them a try, and again really pleased. What I discovered was that they did a lot in 20mm that I thought I could use for the Falklands. So this is just basically some supplies and a sort of camouflaged netting. You can go something like that. Probably intended more for the Second World War, but I thought it would be suitable for the Falklands, and also suitable for the Falklands. Quite a lot of sort of tin sort of shed kind of buildings and so on, similar to those ones that I purchased from Hornby. So this will make another suitable building. I think this one is a scout hut, but sort of very typical of the sort of prefab kind of corrugated iron and other materials, you know, that are easy to transport to the Falklands. So very typical of the buildings you get in the Falklands. I've got quite a lot of stuff, as you do. This one I think is a workshop, if I remember rightly. So again, like the Hornby, it's probably the original intention was for them to be for railway models, you know, trackside kind of buildings, but they're absolutely perfect for the Falklands War. This one's in two parts. When I first saw this, I thought there isn't a door on it, but there actually is. This is the door here. You can just make out the hinges maybe. So I guess something like that. Now, what did they describe that one as? Yeah, sorry. This is I think this is the tin shed. Can't remember now. And this one is a timber workshop. But it's obviously got corrugated iron roof on it. I think that's right. Okay, now also some other little odd pieces that I thought might do for the Falklands is the Falklands is quite well known as a sort of last resting place of a great many sort of ocean-going vessels. I think it's the Great Western in Bristol was salvaged from its last resting place in the Falklands and towed back to Britain, and has now been restored. But yeah, this is sort of typical sort of sunken timbered ship that you see in sort of river estuaries and so on along railway lines. But I thought that might, if I'd ever do a sort of a beach side scenario for the Falklands, that would work on the beach. And equally or similarly, got this boiler in 20mm, which you can sort of paint up as a rusted ruin, just a bit of detritus. Could have come from a ship or something like that. and that will do as an extra bit of scatter terrain. So I also purchased in 28mm, and they were very, it impressed me that they actually queried that I hadn't made a mistake, but I wanted this for the Jacobite Rebellion project. Is another black house. So the one I've got already, I think I got from Total Battle Miniatures, but this one is another nice sort of model that looks a little bit different from that other model, so a bit of variety on the tabletop. So that's going to be for the Jacobites. And they also, I noticed this from the Great Mims channel, but they also have this habit of sending you their sort of miscasts and so on that, you know, aren't really miscasts at all. They must have excellent kind of quality control standards, because I can't see anything wrong with this. But when he questioned it, I think the guy's name was Stuart, beg his pardon. When he questioned my choice of scale for the black house, I replied saying I wanted it for the Jacobite Rebellion. So he actually selected something from, you know, the miscast that would be suitable for the Jacobite Rebellion, and he's put the government troops can hide behind this. I think he must be a Jacobite sympathiser. But yeah, it's sort of, you know, gabions and a little bit of a log barricade, so probably a gun emplacement or something like that. But that's, you know, perfect for Napoleonics, you know, 18th and 18th century through to Napoleonics. So, and as I say, I can't see anything wrong with it. It doesn't look like a miscast at all to me. I mean, maybe on the, you know, on the base, which you're not going to notice at all, there's a little bit of a gap, but the Gabinians themselves are fine. So absolutely excellent. So thank you very much, Stuart. So yeah, I can recommend both any scale models and the Great Mim. That's MIM, the Great Mim video channel. And then from Butler's Printed Models, I had to order some more decals. I won't show you those again, because I showed you what they're like in the previous video. But I was impressed by those ME109s, so I thought I would buy some more. And I made a bit of a mistake. It's not a serious one, but they do ME109s in plastic and in resin, and I accidentally purchased the plastic. Well, I think they're plastic anyway. And the plastic ones come in two parts, as you can see. So they have to be glued together. So they're very, very fine. Yeah, there we go. So they go together. They go together like that. So they're going to be fine. I haven't got a problem with that. I would, you know, in future I'll probably get some more and get the resin though. I have to admit, it just saves that tiny little bit of modelling. I know it's not massive, but you know, I always worry a little bit that they're not going to match up, you know, completely one half to the other. But I think they'll be fine. So I got those, but I also thought, because I like the ME109s, I would experiment and purchase some of their 28mm World War II vehicles, and specifically for my US Marines, because I'm at some stage I'm going to need some vehicles and fire support and so on. And these, I have to say, are absolutely incredible. Really, really happy with these. So I think this one is an Amtrak, a Water Buffalo or an Amtrak. Sorry, get the bag of I mean, that is going to be brilliant. And the armament and so on is all separate, has to be glued on. I think you have a choice of weaponry and so on, so I'm just trying to get it out the bag without making too much of a mess of it. So there's various guns, maybe they all, well, they're not exactly the same, so maybe there's a pair mounted at the front. Not sure, I'll have to look at the illustration on the website. And you've got the seating benches for the inside as well, but I think it's just a lovely model. The underside is a little bit coarse, but you're not going to see that. Yeah, really pleased with that. So that's a sort of transport and a bit of heavy machine gun backup. And I also got this one, which is an LVT A1, I think is listed at, so just fire support, and again, really fantastic model. And comes with a choice of turrets and so on. Oh, I think the back there is for these. I won't get these out because you've seen the other ones, but there's sort of gun shields and mounts and some heavy machine guns. So just have a quick look at the picture on the website and give you an idea. Yeah, they go there. So I'm not quite clear. I suspect, I'm wondering where the gunner actually sits, but I suspect they're sat on in this sort of arrangement here. I'll have to work that out. Not very familiar with my World War II armour, as you can tell. But anyway, I think that is everything. Yeah, that is everything I have to show you. So obviously a lot of additions to my unpainted mountain that I've got to crack on with, but you know, it's all part of the hobby, isn't it? So thanks very much for watching, everyone, and see you on the next video. Bye for now.